Hello, career thought leaders. It's good to see you today. And we are going to be talking about our new Friday in AI sessions about AI in career services and how you can use it to help your clients interview and prepare for an interview better. So, last time, 2 weeks ago, we talked a little bit about job search and how you can use it to research companies. We're going to take that to kind of the next level and talk about how you can use it to research companies for an interview once you've got that interview and you really want to drive deep into the company culture. So go ahead and say hello. Let me know that you're joining and where you're joining from. Always look forward to hearing from you and how you're using AI to help your clients prepare for the interview. So we know you can plug in a job description and you can ask for what questions might I expect to get from this interview. And that's a great way to use ChatGPT, especially because you can paste in the job description and get good information. But let's take it a little bit further and figure out how we can use this to really get insights that might make our client stand out in the interview and as having done their research. And they also might help our client decide how they want to approach the interview, how they want to approach their questions and answers, because we're not just going to look at the company, we're going to also look at how you can research the individual using some of these same symptoms, these same systems and some of these prompts. So again, say hello, let me know that you're joining even if you're watching the replay. I know some of you might still be on holiday break. Once you're back and checking things out, let us know that you're watching and what you have been doing with these systems with your clients. Okay, so let's talk about company research. So what are some of the things that you might want to know about a company? Now, there are some basics, right? We want to know the company's mission, vision, values, their primary products, maybe the size, the location, maybe their leadership team, and maybe getting some information about the industry, what's going on in the industry, what are the notable news or achievements of the company. And then we might want to see the company culture and what's going on there. Now, we've got a sheet that we put in our interview course that lists all the different things you might want to research about a company, and it can be really overwhelming. So this is one of those times when it isn't just about getting the information, it's about prioritizing, processing that information, and that's what the coach is for. So we want to use these AI tools to get the information faster, but then we still need help. Well, the clients that come to you for coaching, they will still need help getting through that information, prioritizing it, like I said, figuring out what really matters. What do they want to know more about? Because that will be how they can use the system to get more of what matters versus just getting a bunch of generic junk or getting too much information that they get overwhelmed, which is one of the other things I'm hearing from coaches right now is that their clients are saying, we're overwhelmed. We can get so much information. And that's where the coach comes in and helps them with that. And so I love this. Using AI in job searches, interview sites for prep. Yeah, so next time, 2 weeks from today, we're going to go through some of the other technologies that we might use for interview prep. Today, we're going to focus most on ChatGPT and maybe using Perplexity, which is a good research tool for gathering this company information. So we're going to start with just a basic idea here to get information about the company. Now, I will say that we typically do prompts in a series rather than giving the information or giving the system a whole bunch of stuff we want to know, which can tend to make it confused or we can go off track and not be able to get back as quickly. So we typically do these in kind of a series, and I'll share my screen with you here and we'll just go through some of this information. Let me see here. Yes, that is what we want. Okay, so I'm just going to put in here a basic prompt. I'm preparing for an interview with a company name. So let's say I'm going to prepare for an interview with GE Energy, a company in the energy sector. Position is for a product manager. Whoops. I want to better understand the company, how I can tailor my responses during an interview. Please help me research the following. So we're going to just start with the company overview. And again, this is where the coach would come in and say, what do you, individual, really want to know about the company? What matters to you? Maybe it's number of employees, maybe it's dollars of revenue. This is where we can help the client really prioritize and put in a prompt that makes sense for them. Because yes, you can get anything, and I could ask ChatGPT, what's the best prompt, etc. But it really comes down to, what does your client want to know, and what are they going to do with that information once they have it? Otherwise, it's just information for information's sake. So very simple prompt here to get started. We can start with the company, make sure that it's finding the right company, right? I'm just going to get started with something basic, and so that I can make sure we're on track. And then I would check this information. The client would check this information. Typically, I would do this kind of while I'm screen sharing with a client, right? And then we can adjust the prompts and do all of that as we go. So now that we've got that, I could say, okay, provide me some industry context. And now I can say, okay, what's important to my client here? So now provide the industry context. What's important? What's the company's position in the industry, major competitors, notable achievements? I might also add, what are the main concerns for a product manager in energy right now? And if I had a specific, more specifics to put in, it would be even better. But these types of, kind of what's going on in the industry, what are some recent trends, what are the main concerns, is going to give me some background and some ideas. My client already might have some of this. It's just adding to their existing knowledge and giving them some ideas here. So recent energy trends, data trends, all of those things, concerns for product managers. Now I've got all of that kind of as background as I continue with the rest of my prompts. So I can come from here. I could ask specific things about the job. I can put in the job description. And once I've got the job description in there, then I can ask even more specific things. But now I've got this context. So one of the things of a powerful prompt is context. But a lot of times people try to do context as, I'm a resume writer, or act like you're a hiring manager. And you can see the type of context that I'm building here is so much richer and deeper, so that I can get good information. I'm not just saying, pretend you're a recruiter with GE. That's like this much context. And when we ask these questions about what's going on in the industry, what are the concerns, what are the concerns for this specific role, it builds like this much context, so that then as I ask my future questions, I just get a lot better outputs, a lot more thoughtful outputs than I would get if I just said, pretend you're this. So I can walk people through those prompts. Do the company research, do the industry research, put in the position description, and really understand, what is this position looking for? How will they interact with the trends that it talked about for the industry? And then I can get into the questions I might expect in the job. But now, instead of having these kind of generic questions that I might expect based on that job description, I'm going to have much richer questions that I might expect, because I've built in all of that context. So that's what we're looking for there. So then I'm going to move into, so I'm going to not do all the job description stuff today. We're going to kind of skip forward, and I'm going to put in the specific person and the information that I want about this person. So I'm halfway making this up, but this is also someone's LinkedIn profile that we're going to use here to do this step. So like I said, from where I was, you could go in and put the rest of the information in about the job. And then we're going to move into the actual individual I might be interviewing with. So I've asked the hiring managers or the people scheduling the interview, who am I going to be interviewing with? And then I can come in and do some of this step. So I'm preparing for an interview with the product management director. I don't know. We're just kind of making this up a little bit. Who is I already did that. I'm not going to put their name in here because we're just not going to do that right now. We don't have to. So privacy stuff, you don't have to. And I'm going to say at GE Energy. I want to learn more about their background. Please help me research the following, summarize their career, highlight their tenure. So if I actually put in their name, I could do it that way, or I could do this. So I'm going to say based on this LinkedIn profile. Now, what I've done is I've got a PDF of the LinkedIn profile, which you can get from anyone's profile, and I'm just copying the information. It does include company names, but it doesn't include their specific name. So you download the profile, it's PDF. You just copy everything from summary down. Yes, it includes the company names, but it doesn't include their name. So we're not putting a bunch of personal information in here. We're just moving into getting the information that I need. So I'm going to hit Shift Enter so that I don't hit prompt right away. And then I'm going to come in here and paste in the summary and stuff. Now I'm going to come in and change the company name because I didn't use the company for the person whose actual profile I'm pulling. And there's weird stuff in here because it doesn't use the hard returns in the and I could clean some of that up, but honestly the AI doesn't really care. It can read what you're writing, so we've got all these errors, but it really doesn't matter. I can just come in here and then I'm going to hit enter. So now I've just got it pulling kind of the basic information about this person. It's kind of summarizing the profile for me just so that, again, I'm building the context. Then I could come in here and I could put in some of this information. It's going to be different based on how you do this, but I could even ask, so I'm just going to make some stuff up because we're going to just go with it here. So what would be most important to this person is they're hiring the product manager. Again, if I have the product description or the job description in there already, it would help. But now it's pulling stuff from their actual profile saying, hey, this is what is important to this person. The voice of the customer, right? The project manager, they value someone who can think strategically, come up with roadmaps. It might be a little bit generic, but since we put in that profile, we're getting more specific information. So then I can say, well, I could do a lot of different things. So now that I have the profile of this person, and I could add even more depending on what information I have, but I could ask, what questions would I ask this person in an interview? And it will pull from their profile kind of what's important to them. And this person had, like, I would say, a middle of the road filled out profile, right? They didn't have tons of information in there. It wasn't a professionally written profile. They had pulled in some of the information for their resume. So we've got some context, but it's not like the best profile in the world, right? It's middle of the road. If you have a hiring manager that has a really bare bones profile, doing it this way may not work as well. You might have to gather some other information before you put things in there than just the LinkedIn profile. Maybe go and see if they've done anything else that you can pull in. But now that I have that in there, I've got the company, ideally I'd put in the job description, and now I've got my hiring manager, their LinkedIn profile in there, and I can ask it questions. What's important to this person? What are they looking for? What questions might I ask in the interview for this specific person? And it gives it more. And you can see, even if ChatGPT is wrong, my client is going through this thinking process that they probably aren't going through by themselves. And they're getting little nuggets from ChatGPT that they can analyze, and they can say, okay, does this fit or not? and I can go through the coaching conversation with them to analyze those pieces. So it goes way beyond just, what questions should I ask for this role? Now we've got the company, we've got the industry, we've researched it, we've put in the job description, we've put in our hiring manager, we've put in the hiring manager's profile. And now that we're asking those questions, even what questions might I expect this person to ask? There's some really cool stuff we can do even with personality profiles, right? I could put in my own LinkedIn profile and ask it what might they see as the gaps, what should I highlight. I'm not going to take any of that at like 100%, right? It's informing my thoughts, what I already know about my industry, myself. And then as a coach, it makes it really great because we can talk through, what does the person think about the suggestions they're getting from ChatGPT? What do they like? What don't they like? What do they think is a fit? What might be a little off? And it all becomes a coaching conversation that is just so much more rich than we are probably already having this conversation with our clients, but more theoretical. And now we can have this data behind it to make the discussion just so much more rich. So if you're interested in having more of these conversations, we are doing a few different things. One, we start our process to go through AI credentialing. So these have been in the works for about 8 months. We've been teaching AI since it came out, since December of 2022, right after OpenAI. Well, and even before that, before the launch of OpenAI. And so we're taking all of the things that we've learned and we're putting them together into a series of micro credentials for career services providers. So you can check those out. The first foundation session is next Friday. And then we'll run specific sessions on career coaching, resume writing, interviewing, and job search. If you have been in our program, so if you are a member of our Career Industry Authority, or if you were in our sandbox last year, don't sign up for this yet because you're going to be getting a coupon code to do that. If you are, want to get it done, send me an email. I'll send you the coupon code. But those folks who've been in our sandbox and those types of things already will get a discount code for that. They're very accessible. So even if you haven't been that, you'll see that when you get to the site. So we're going to be launching those, really diving into on each part of our process. How can we use ChatGPT and Perplexity and other systems as partners? We're also going to be looking at external tools, which I said we'll go through in our next Friday. We'll go through those a little bit more in terms of the systems that give you feedback on your speech and the ones that do a mock interview with you. We're going to go through those next time, and we'll go through those in these sessions. What can we use with our clients to help them really get ahead? And then the next thing that we have coming up is our certified interview and compensation negotiation coach program. Is going to start on January 21st. And that, of course, goes through the whole interview preparation process, using AI, but much deeper in terms of the coaching. So we will be doing that soon as well. That starts January 21st. So if you have any other questions on any of those programs, or you're using great prompts that you'd love to share, feel free to share those with us. And we will see you in a couple of weeks for our next Friday. And we're still doing our Trend Tuesday lives as well. So we'll see you on Tuesdays and Fridays. Thank you, everyone.